Hello, this is James Zetta James. I am your host on the Change Builds Authenticity podcast. Change Builds Authenticity podcast will transform your being by stepping into authenticity. Get ready to unravel, walk in freedom, and renew your own spirit. Becoming authentic starts with walking in your truth. May the life that you live be an example of how you show up in the world. Our mission here at Change Builds Authenticity Podcast is just that. CHANGE is the method used to help individuals transform their life. Change your mindset. Humble your spirit. Aim to achieve, accept, and adjust your life accordingly. Be nice to others. Be grateful and have an attitude of gratitude. Empower others by telling your story. Yeah, that's what we do here. We have a guest. Her name is Nicole Washington-Short. Okay, she has an amazing story to tell us about the book that she just wrote, through a mother's eyes. That's exactly what it is, through a mother's eyes. I'm going to bring her on. She's going to introduce herself and just give us an enlightenment and an empowerment of how she actually dealt with her son being autistic through her own eyes, fighting the system, fighting for his rights. So let's bring Nicole on. Welcome, Nicole. Thank you for coming on Change Builds Authenticity podcast. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell people a little bit about you?
Okay, so my name is Nicole Washington. I have a son who has autism. He's actually 27. He'll be 28 in just a few days.
Happy birthday to him.
Yes, he will be 28. As you know, well, you all don't know, but as James Zetta know, we both come from Robert Taylor.
Yes.
Very limited means. You know, we didn't have much. And that's the biggest part of why I wrote this book. Because I thought about girls like me who basically don't have a clue, don't have much support, and financially don't have any support as well. How hard I had to fight to make sure my son did not become just a person that nobody cared about or just didn't believe in. And so I want all girls to know that's my color, all colors, but I'm thinking about my girls, that sometimes you think you're going to go and you're going to get these cute gym shoes and they all going to be looking alike and they're going to be sharp. And you this is where your mind go, where my mind went. And in fact, D'Anthony it was a very different story. He ended up in hospitals and clinics and all kind of specialists. And that's what happened with me and him. So my dreams of my son ever going to college or ever moving out and getting married it wasn't happening like that for me. And so I want you to know this is a very real story and it can happen. And that's my inspiration for writing this book.
Amen. And I want to give honor and praise to the God we serve. We come from the same community. Our parents were good friends until out there rest in heaven. I know you are smiling on your daughter right now for writing this book. One of the things I found very intriguing, Nikki, in this book, girl, it had me heartbroken, like how you had to literally stand up for your son. You started in Milwaukee and came all the way to Chicago. But one of the things I want you to touch on is the system. It seemed as though that the system had failed you with them not really knowing who your son, your son's condition. You had a real hard time to grasp that part. And then the teachers putting people in isolation, you examining their classrooms. You did a phenomenal job. Can you talk about that part so that people understands that you don't always just leave your child, especially when you know something is wrong. You come up and watch the environments that they're in, watch the people who is responsible for supposed to care for them and love them. Can you touch base on that part that happens in the book too?
Okay, so yeah, the teacher that me and D'Anthony experienced. When I first met the teacher, I just didn't. You have to because they can't talk. As a parent, you kind of have to feel the teacher out to kind of see if is this teacher loving? Do she care for the kids, like for real, or is it just a money situation? And with this particular teacher, the first day I met her, I knew that this wasn't going to be a good fit. But I was hoping that it was just me being paranoid. When in fact, actually, it came out that she was not a good teacher. She was hitting the kids. Um, she just didn't really want to have. They were not good teachers, and it's just sad because eventually she ended up being fired because I went and I sat in her room and I could just see how she mistreated the kids. She was hitting on these autistic kids. She was beating them. She was hitting them, and basically even other teachers before this, before when they all thought, okay, maybe I'm just over exaggerating. But what I did as his mom, I had the principal to have someone go to her room every day. Mm-hmm. And this is for all of you parents who have fight for your child. I cannot stress that enough. They will mistreat these kids. Not saying all teachers, but you have a lot that they're just in it for the money, or they just simply can't handle it. But I would have someone go down to his classroom every day and pull my son out and take him for a walk because I felt she had the kids sitting very long. So when D'Anthony, he was like 5 or 6. So basically, we all know kids that young can't sit anyway. So imagine trying to make a child with autism sit the whole time doing class. She didn't get up and do no music or jumping, just something. They had to be able to get up. And she wasn't. She thought that because I came from Robert Taylor or maybe low income, I would not understand that what she was doing wasn't right. So this is how I found out, and all of it came out what she was doing. This is how it all came out. Because I had someone going down there every day checking on him because I just didn't trust her.
And so that I want you to expand on. People don't listen to the signals of their body.
That's right.
And I'm big on energy. I'm also big on my gut. My gut, I believe, comes from God. And what was it that made you feel? What kind of feelings inside of your body that made you say, whoa, watch this one? Because people don't listen to their own internal body that is trying to forewarn them about individuals. You knew that something wasn't right. Can you expand on that as well?
Well, I watch people. I just didn't get that motherly. You know how people had a motherly feeling. I just didn't get that motherly feeling about her. The kids would kind of flinch when she would walk past the kids. All of them, they would flinch, and that raised a huge eye opener for me. And this is when I got the school board involved because I was trying to understand why are they flinching when you walk past. And so that made I ended up even putting on the disguise. It was the things I went through to make sure my son was safe. People left, but I put on the disguise and I sat in the hallway the whole day, just wanted to see when she came out of her classroom how they interacted. And sure enough, it was just as I thought. She was yelling and screaming, and everything I thought about her came out that day too.
Amen. Absolutely. But do you know how many people in the world that is not able to do this? I found some of your I found your book hilarious too. You knew your son like to his entirety. Nobody could tell you about your own son. So that is a great parenting skill that you caught on with your own son, that a lot of parents need to take heed to that, like knowing their child. You knew your child. You was like, where's that phone at? Okay. Because I know you got it in your pocket, baby. Get it on now. You was just not embarrassed on anything about as you grew and was taking care of him. It just like, nah, I know where is it at. I know who got it. What people don't learn is not just him, because he has autism. A lot of kids grow up with these fetishes.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Like my grandson, he is such a freak for, these games. And I said, no, we're not doing this. And then Genesis is so, my granddaughter is such a freak for candy, 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 candy. She puts it up, she hides it, she goes in cookie jars. So I'm just saying, like, all kids grow up liking something. And it was so amazing that even though he wasn't able to speak, you
Yeah.
knew, you watched your son. I found
Yeah.
that so amazing. Like,
Yeah.
you knew him. And you like, we're not gonna be doing this. Give me that back. So talk about that. We ain't gonna have them know everything about the book, because we need them to purchase this book too.
That's right.
I got my book. And why
That's
don't you
right.
just touch on, as a mother, how you just observed your son? It was very difficult for him to speak, but you found ways to communicate with your baby.
That's right.
Talk
Um,
about that part.
okay, so D'Anthony loved. Well, one thing we found out through food was that he loves popcorn. So like your granddaughter loved the candy, he loves popcorn. So what I did was I would use that as a way to motivate him. So in order for him to tell me what he wanted, if he could point to me, I went out and purchased a book with all type of pictures and things like that in it. And if he could point to what he wanted in his book, he would be rewarded with like popcorn, the favorite things he liked. So when he started, I left because I called him a kleptomaniac. He was still every he was the biggest thief. It's so funny to me. I mean, the school would call. D'Anthony took like 20 pops. I don't know how he could have got out of the school with 20 pops, but he did it. And he brought them home. I said, no, that has to go back. We sent it back. He took a watch from the school, sent that back. And every time he would do something like that, see, the thing is, I never knew if D'Anthony was understanding the things I would talk to him about. But oh, he did. He understood it all.
They smart.
He understood it all. And
They
that's another thing,
geniuses.
parents, they know. So he took he stole a phone, a real pricey phone from some young lady. And to this day, the school left about it because I happen to work at this school now, which is amazing. I didn't realize I was going to be at the school, but I am.
See?
And so he stole this phone from the young lady, took it or whatever you want to call it. And we took that phone back as well. But all of this came from basically just talking with him and letting him point to things, and he'll take your hand and he'll take you to what he wants. And that's kind of how that went. So that's how we got him to communicate with us. And to this day, this is a real good reason how he does communicate. He'll come to you and point and show you. And now, amazingly, he can say maybe 25 words. He can't, he don't talk for real, but he does say a few words to kind of let you know his needs and his wants.
And you just been, I really like and admire how you were able to work through. I work for Shirley Ryan Ability Lab, and we always call a disability ability.
All
And
right.
so you found an ability to be able to communicate with him. And so that right there was so amazing. You made me laugh. You made me teary. You also made me advocate, because I'm all about advocacy and policy. And so a lot of parents need to go to these schools and watch their children in these classrooms, because
right.
they are not made up of what they supposed to be made up of. But I want to say that I'm sure you got more to write about. All I saw was how he started out as a young man, and look at him, a grown man. And Nikki, I want to say to you all, he is so happy. Like, he's grown to be such a happy man. He's working, he was doing all of this. I was just so in, like, the short pages in here, you got a lot of things, like, and I really commend you for that. for putting yourself out there, because you don't know how many people that you're going to bless with this amazing story. If you can leave anything to anyone about, first of all, how can they purchase your book?
So you can go on Amazon. The book is on Amazon. It's at Walmart. It's in Barnes and Nobles, Thrifty Books. Those are and it's on ebooks as well.
Okay.
So it's 5-6 different places you can purchase the book.
Okay, so you said Barnes and Nobles, Amazon. I know I got mine at Walmart.
Okay,
I got mine
Walmart.
at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it came right through. Because I have a Walmart account. I got my book. I read it. I'm working on the second book from one of my girlfriends who is an author. So I believe in supporting all of us. All African American writers. I love
it. I can't wait till your book come out, and I can't wait. I know you're going to end up, because you're doing great things as well. I'm just proud. I'm proud of us. We come from very limited means. Wow, it's amazing. I can't even express it, because I'm just so proud of us. Like, this is awesome. So we fought to get here. Nobody gave us any silver spoons. We fought to get here.
Yes, we did. Really did. Yes, we did. And I'm sure, we hope that we're leaving a legacy for our children, our family members, our friends, people who have come in contact with us, our co-workers, just the world. We want God to smile on us. Because this work that we're doing, it has nothing to do with us. Everybody in the world, God gets the glory, because it's his gifts that he's presented to us that we're using to change the world in his name. I want to say, if you don't have Nikki's book, you need to go order it ASAP. It literally changed my life. I read it. I hope you found value, and give her a review about her book, because this ain't the last book. We want to hear more books coming through for her. But Nikki, if you can help anyone today talk about what changed you in writing this book to become authentic, what would that look like for you?
So I'm gonna say, as I was writing the book, I broke down a lot. I cried a lot. It kind of, for me, it healed a lot of the hurt spaces of me having a son that's going through all of this. And so, to any parents out there who have a story, I say, write about it. Writing is therapy. It's a lot of therapy in writing. And so I want to tell all the parents out there to just don't give up on your child. Watch your child. Learn what they need. Get down to their level if you can, and just know that all kids can learn. Don't ever believe that they cannot learn. And don't let a doctor tell you all of these things about your child. Find out for yourself. Because if I had to listen to them, we wouldn't be sitting here right now. This would be a whole different story. Because in their book, DeAnthony could do nothing. They felt he would be a vegetable. But did he prove them all wrong? Everybody, including me. I test limits and pushed him in ways, and it all paid off. And this is why I'm so passionate about this book, because I want girls like me to know it's hope out here. Even if you have limited support and limited finances, I did the research, I did the work, and my son walking around, and you wouldn't even think he had autism at this point.
Hallelujah. Yes.
You wouldn't even think it. And that's why this is so important to me. It's way bigger than money. I want girls to understand that. You think you're going to walk around with this kid and he's going to have all of the latest fashions. But when you have a different story and a different diagnosis like I ended up with, your whole world will change. And that's why it's so passionate to me. Because I want girls like us to understand that it's still hope no matter what. It can still be a good story.
This is amazing, Nikki. if you are out there and you have an autistic child, I really tell you to actually grab this book. I'm sure Nikki has more. We call her Nikki, but it's Nicole has more to offer us. But thank you for coming on the Changevilles Authenticity podcast.
It was my
Ladies
pleasure.
and gentlemen, like, subscribe, comment, come through, buy her book, support the cause, and just to learn something from her perspective. Until next time, y'all, this is the Changevilles Authenticity Podcast. James Zetta James Thompson. I am your host.